Hi there. Do you ever do form information inputs and then wonder, I wonder if I can have my information be, I don't know, stopped if it's incorrect or it doesn't meet the correct variables? Well, there is. There is something called a requirement tag that you can put inside of the input. To try it, using w3schools.com, I love these guys. They are beautiful people. So to try this, we have a form here in which a username is asked for, and the input type is just username, but it's required. So if I click the Submit Query button, it'll come back as, please fill out this field. Now, if I remove that tag, then I click Run, Submit Query, username will come back as blank. But it'll be like, oh, hey, you submitted it, so cool. But this will come back as a fail or a false statement if there's no data in there. So putting required back in, if I type in just something, it'll say, hello, whatever that is. So it'll put in something, but since something was inserted, it met the required status. Something had to be put in order to be submitted. So that's what the required tag does. Now, the attribute pattern is something more along the lines of you're trying to meet a certain parameter of the data that you're putting into your field. So the first example that it puts us with is a country code. So trying this one out. So it gives us here a pattern. So we hover over and it says a 3-letter country code. Now that we get from right here. So title is whatever you're hovering over the space, it tells you what to do. So the pattern is something between capital letters A through Z and then lowercase letters A through Z. So it can be any one of those. Now, here in the squiggly brackets is number 3. That is where it tells you a 3-letter country code. So letters is being specified here, and 3 of them. So running this, if I were to put in a country code of, or if I just put in US, thinking, oh, the USA, I submit that, nope, does not work. So if I put in USSR, it's over 3, I submit that, still incorrect. Only by putting in 3 letters do I meet the pattern's requirements and it's received. Now, I could put in lowercase, it'll still accept it. I could put in a mixture of lowercase and uppercase, it'll still accept it. But if I put in US1, the pattern asked for letters, not numbers. Or if I try to put in a symbol, it'll still come back as, nope, this is the pattern requested. So for that, if you're trying to keep to an SQL database where you have a certain table where you have a country code or male, female, such kind of a case, this is where that would be very useful to have if you're trying to input information. Additionally, there are some other pattern attributes that you can keep to. This one offers a chance of 8 or more characters, but it must be at least 8 characters. So this is a password. You can put in whatever you want. For down here, I could put in, and I just open a new page somehow. So I could have this be my password right here, and it'll accept it. There's, symbols, there's numbers, there's at least 8. So I'm going to do a test. I'm just going to put in the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it doesn't have any parameters for what characters I use, just the number. So I submit that, and it says, nope, 8 or more characters, please. So, and the error that it puts in saying, please match the requested format, and then it puts back in this title. So that's how you get this error message to pop up. So if I put in 8, submit query, there, my password is now that. So again, I can put ABC123 $, exclamation point, @ symbol, and it'll take that. So that is how you can do a pattern of 8 or more characters. So just make sure you have this within double quotations as your pattern. Now, further than that, it has things, must contain at least one number, one uppercase and lowercase, and is at least 8 or more characters. So the way that you add multiple pattern types is you keep them in quotations. So by having them in quotations, you're setting parameters of these must be the conditions, and you have to specify it with question mark or a query, and this is the symbol for, this is the symbol for must be a number, and this is for lowercase, and this is for uppercase. So I'm sorry, not numbers, this is a symbols. So, and then it also still has the dot 8 comma, under the squigglies. So this is the way that it says that there is one number. I'm sorry, this one does specify one number. So one number, one uppercase, so that's right here, and one lowercase letter, that's up here. And then at least 8 or more is right here. So if I wanted my password to be password 1, no uppercase, I submit that, it's going to come back as invalid. But if I go back and make it a capital P, then that is accepted. I have met all the pattern requirements. So I could change that to be 10, and then say at least 10. Where did I? Oh. So form a password with at least 10, and then it shows at least 10 or more characters. So password, that was 8, 1, 2. So now I have 10 characters, and that meets the requirement. So hopefully that will help with your input forms for doing required and pattern attributes. The required tagline here can be added, and honestly should be added, but it'll come up with, please fill out this field. Now that will just be the default thing when you put in required. It's not going to put in the title error here. So if I put in submit query, submit query, no, come on. No, I guess you do need to do that. Why did it do that before and not? Sorry, there's one thing I'm not seeing here. title, enter that, require, oh, why did it do that? Run, submit. I don't know. There's something that oh wait, that's why. Okay, I'm sorry, I did it correctly. I just hadn't put in any actual information. So if I run this submit query, it'll say, please fill out this field. That only applies when nothing is put there. But if I put something there, then it puts in the title, as the, hey, it didn't work. Here's why. Okay, so it is working correctly. It is working as intended. So please make sure that whenever you put in an input and you want it to keep to a certain set of variables, for instance, like a username or a password, or you want to keep to a code, then make sure you have a pattern and the required. It doesn't matter where exactly the required one goes. I mean, you could put it at the beginning and it'll still work, but just make sure you have it. If you want to keep yourself, neat and orderly, make sure you keep it in the same place, either at the beginning of the input variables or at the end, whichever. Yeah, so good luck and have fun and make good websites.